Well, hello, everybody. This is Dr. Troy Dukowitz of the Commit and Go podcast, where we encourage you to make big commitments, take big action, and create big-ass results in your life and business. Today's topic is this: liar, liar, pants on fire. So, if you've ever been a child, then maybe you have heard that expression. Or maybe it's just one from the 80s. I don't know. But there is a expression that we used to make as kids, and I can remember it as clear as day: liar, liar, pants on fire, hanging from a telephone wire. And I literally, I'm coming at you literally after just reading a post from a gentleman who is taking our 30-day challenge program, and the end statement is what it just gripped me. And I knew that I had to have a conversation about this because it's an area that plagues us all. And it's ultimately an area that keeps people from getting to where it is that they want to go. And there are many excuses that people put out there. There are many reasons that gurus and leaders will talk about as to why people don't have what they want, the priority, they don't have enough clarity. Like, those are important things. But if you don't have this one thing, then you will never hit the target that you have. And that one thing being the truth. The truth about where you're at. His statement, very, very powerful, was that he had been lying to himself about his leadership. Now, I'm paraphrasing just a tad bit because I don't know the exact statement right now, and I am driving, and I am certainly not going to scroll through and read it. But it was basically that I have been lying about my leadership, or even how I've defined leader. And so it got me to thinking in an instant. Said, I picked up my phone. I'm like, we've got to have this conversation, because what happens in that moment is that he had a realization that he was lying to himself, which, by the way, everyone does. So he was lying to himself about something very important, which is leadership, and how that leadership should impact and should actually affect his children. And yet it wasn't the results he was getting. So he thinks he's leading one way, but he's not getting the results that he pretty much knows he should be getting if he were truly leading from that place. So he had to stop lying, and he had to start doing something very different, which is to tell the truth. And all too often, people have a hard time with this. Now, think about this. You have set goals based on a false story of where you really are. People do this all the time. They don't want to face the facts of their reality. And so people say I work out all the time. I work out all the time. I can't figure out why I don't lose weight. I work out all the time. And it's like, really? So how often is all the time? 2 days a week. And is it an impactful workout? Well, yeah, I'm sweating. No. Is it impactful? Like, is it something that's really kicking your butt and you are profusely sweating? Or are you sweating because, you haven't been exercising and you can barely walk up a flight of stairs? Where in your life right now are you not being honest with yourself? That's the question. I'm going to cut through the bullshit and I'm going to get there. Where right now in your life are you not being honest with yourself? Maybe it's in a relationship. Look, after my wife and I had number 3, Walker, who is going to be 1 year old in just a few weeks, after we had him, there's this for any time when you have a baby, there's this figure it out period. There's a period of time where you have to figure out how are we going to, okay, we have 3 kids now. We figured it out with 1, we figured it out with 2, now we got to figure out the dynamic with 3. And there was a point in time in that when I, seriously, I'm thinking, we have such a great relationship, and I'm kind of going, what happened? And I'm thinking to myself, well, Leah's doing what she has to do to take care of Walker. I'm doing what I have to do to take care of Wyatt and Watson. And we're doing what we have to do to take care of the family. And I realized on that journey that we had stopped doing what was necessary to take care of each other. And it was just that time had gotten by. So somebody would ask me about the relationship, and I'll be like, oh my gosh, it's great. Are you kidding me? I love my wife. I love my kids. We have a great family. And it's not like we were arguing. It's not like we were eating each other alive. It was just a matter of we were not connected. The greatest lie I was telling myself in that moment was that we were friends. And we really weren't friends at the time. We were 2 parents doing what we had to do to run a family. And so we weren't even having the time to sit and have a conversation a friend would have, a spouse would have. That's just reality. I don't have a hard time telling you that because it's the truth. And as a result of me figuring out the truth, the facts of the reality of where I was, I could then course correct and I could take our relationship down a different path. I could have a real target to be shooting for because I was basing my target or my goal on reality, not some fictitious story that, oh, well, we have a great relationship going on right now. We're so connected. And as a result of being so connected, here's what we're going to do. And then it never happens. Like, insert your own life scenario here. And then it never happens. And it never happens because people are not living in the land of reality. People are living in lies. People are living in excuses. And if you want results, if you want to get to where you really want to go, you got to identify where is it that you're lying to yourself when it comes to your health. Where is it? People, oh, I'm healthy. How do you know you're healthy? I don't know. I just feel good. Okay, when's the last time you've been to the doctor and you actually had testing done to tell you exactly where your blood work was? When's the last time you went to a chiropractor and actually had testing done to show you exactly where your nerve system is? So how do you know that you're healthy? How do you actually know? And you look at your relationship, and how do you know you're having a healthy relationship? You want to know? Sit down and ask your kids. Sit down right now and ask them, say, tell the truth. How do you feel about daddy? How do you feel about your relationship with daddy? Am I a good daddy? Am I doing the things that you need? Are there things that you wish that daddy would do? Just ask them and do the same thing with your spouse. Ask your spouse, am I emotionally available to you? And how do you feel about our emotional connection? Ask. Get a real measure of where you are at. See, in business, it's easy. In business, I just have to go look at my numbers, and I know exactly where my business is based on what the numbers are telling me. So I can set a real goal based on where my numbers are, and I can then calculate where it is that I want to go. But in other areas outside of body and business, when it comes to even your spirituality, it's kind of a hard one to track. When it comes to your relationships, it's a hard one to track. But you got to do the work in those relationships. And you got to ask for feedback now and then. And don't be surprised if the feedback that you initially get is not feedback that you are excited about. So what do I have to do? If it's feedback I'm not excited about, then what I have to do is do the work. I have to make deposits in my relationships every single day. Your children and your spouse. Every damn day you make a deposit into a bank account known as my relationship with my wife, my relationship with my children, each child, and I make a deposit into that account, into the emotional bank account known as my relationship with my family. And you do it every single day. And don't come back in a week and say, hey guys, how am I doing? Do the work over and over and over again. Be consistent in doing it. If you don't understand consistency, go to yesterday's podcast and take a listen to it. It's number, I think, 107. Go listen to number 107 about consistency, and then come back and listen to this again and do the work consistently. And do it consistently for 3 months and 6 months and 9 months and 12 months and 2 years. And you will start to see that your family is more connected to you because you became more connected to them. All because you were willing to face the facts of reality. This gentleman who shared this with me, I hold in very high regard. And the fact that he was willing to share this with me means that he is open. He is open to receiving a message that says, okay, I need to step up in my leadership because I was willing to face the lie that I was telling myself was that I was actually leading, when in reality, I wasn't. So take a look across your life in body, being, balance, and business. Where is it that you are not telling the truth? Where is it that you are lying to yourself? You're lying to yourself about your results. You're lying to yourself about the work that you're putting in. Whatever it is, just identify that area. And what is the truth? Just take the time today to find out what is the truth about that area. And then what are you willing to do about it? Being truthful. That's all I've got for you here today. Hey, I'm Dr. Troy Dukowitz. If you haven't already, head on over to the Commit and Go podcast page on iTunes, Google Play, or Stitcher. Subscribe, rate, and or review. And hey, send it to your friends. Share it with your friends, family members, and loved ones that you think could benefit from the daily fire I deliver here every week, Monday through Friday. And if you haven't already, head on over to commitandgo.com where you can get the commitandgo.com Time Mastery Program. Absolutely free. That's all I've got for you here today. I'm Dr. Troy Dukowitz. This has been the Commit and Go podcast, where we encourage you to make big commitments, take big action, and create big-ass results in your life and business. We'll hear you next time.